Hello.
Is this the fifth episode already?
Yeah,
Wow, I just realized that.
we're still here.
Wow. Man, this is amazing. We're 5 weeks in. I can't believe this.
And
It goes by so fast.
nothing changes. It seems like it's Groundhog Day because you've got some audio on that I can hear.
Oh, I don't.
Okay,
I
maybe
don't
I
have
just have
any. I don't.
supersonic hearing.
I think you might. You might have supersonic here.
All right, I'll
I
let you
have.
know if it continues.
Okay. Let's say, is there some audio delay with my video at all?
No, you're working. You're working. We were losing our minds there 5 minutes ago. No video. Hey,
So for
Akeem.
some reason, my webcam, which is my phone that I hook up via an app called Epoch Cam, and I'm like not gonna trash talk Epoch Cam necessarily, but to trash talk Epoch Cam for a second, it just decides not to connect on Zoom today, just arbitrarily. Always works, then it doesn't work, and it feels a little bit like the bus. I was trying to get the bus going this week, James, and of course it's been brutal cold here, Harold Smith and Kingston, and it feels a little bit like the bus just works and works and works until it just decides it doesn't want to work that day. And so
Oh
I
yeah.
was uh, I was charging that up, trying to charge that up. Anyway, we'll get back to that a little bit later. But it does feel like Groundhog Day. Feels kind of like we're stuck in a loop of a tech loop. That's actually a term. Tech loop, isn't it a term? I've heard it.
I have no clue. I'm
I
not
don't
the
know.
guy to ask.
But yeah, tomorrow is Groundhog Day. Does everybody, you know what? Every year I forget about Groundhog Day. I don't know. Do you remember Groundhog Day, James, every year?
Yeah.
Like it occurs to you every year. It's
Oh,
like,
oh, do I remember if it's happening? No, I don't.
yeah, like lots of times it hits like February 4th, 5th. I go, oh, wait a second. Groundhog Day was like a few days ago, completely went and gone. But I don't know. Maybe it's because we all have way more time on our hands now.
Thanks,
And we're just
Carolyn, for
thinking,
liking the stream. Appreciate that.
awesome. Thanks, Carolyn. I think we've got all this time on our hands now. We're thinking about things like, oh, tomorrow's Groundhog Day. Like, you know, when is Columbus Day? Does anybody know? Like, we don't celebrate Columbus Day really in Canada. So, like,
I
all
think
those little extra holidays.
what I would like to know is how many groundhogs have they used for Groundhog
Oh my
Day?
goodness, that's like a
Because it's
dark
supposed to be this.
alley.
It's supposed to be the same groundhog, right?
Yeah, I
Like
mean, what
it's
is the lifespan of a
like
groundhog?
we're all pretending that it's the same groundhog.
I mean, a groundhog's lifespan has got to be. I mean, you can fact check me on this, James, but it's got to be what, a couple years genetically. I mean, this is a wild animal, really. It's not
Oh,
a,
I can Google
so.
it.
Um, but Groundhog Day is more. I feel like it's more of a special holiday than all the holidays that pop up in my Google
It says
calendar.
groundhogs can live up to 6 years, with two or three
6. That's
being
pretty good.
with 2 or 3 being average.
Okay.
In
Okay.
captivity, groundhogs reportedly live up to 14 years.
So it's like a
So,
hamster.
there's been a lot of groundhogs. Let's just leave it at that.
I think we've been through a few groundhogs, but
Hey, Kara, thanks for being here. Appreciate that. Oh,
right
right on.
on.
Amy's back. Amy, the Twitch streaming legend.
That's right.
We got Nico. Nico's the best. We hear lots of great hangouts. He will get together sometimes on Zoom and have a little chat with our mom sometimes, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
And
Amy says what she doesn't really know what it was until someone explained it to me today. Is that Groundhog Day, Amy? Is You didn't know what Groundhog
probably,
Day was?
probably.
For anybody who doesn't know Groundhog Day out there, and I shouldn't just assume, it's well, I don't know what it celebrates. I guess it celebrates the fact that either spring is around the corner. It's basically a holiday to get people through the depression of winter. I mean, like, let's be honest, that's what Groundhog Day is. It's a little bit of hope after January, which sucks, particularly in Canada. I mean, or in northern the United States, anywhere where there's snow, basically. So Groundhog Day is the the fun little celebration where the groundhog comes out, and if the groundhog sees its shadow, it gets scared and goes back in the hole, and that means that we've got 6 more weeks of winter. Or if the groundhog comes out and doesn't see a shadow and isn't scared back into the groundhog's hole, then the groundhog, then spring is just around the corner, or it's here or something. And the deal is, there's a couple little towns. We have Wyerton Willie here in Ontario, in our province, which is like the equivalent of, sort of, not necessarily legally, but the equivalent of this, like our state in Canada. We have Wyerton Willie. Puxatawny Phil is a famous one. That's the one featured in Groundhog Day in the movie Groundhog Day. But it's basically a winter festival,
I think that's
and
enough of an
I think
explanation.
that's it.
Yeah, you
Well,
did it.
you're
You did
welcome
it.
for anybody out there
Sorry.
who is behind a Groundhog Day. But uh,
Um, that was,
it,
you did a pretty good job there. I should actually
I
give you
did.
credit. I
Yeah,
was falling
thanks.
asleep in the middle, but Kara says October 11th is Columbus Day, so that's when
October
Columbus
11th.
Day is.
It's
I
like
figured that I figured it had already gone by. To be
all
honest with you.
these uh different holidays that pop up in my Google Calendar and iCal and stuff. I go, I don't even know what that is. Different, like, I don't know if they're even staff holidays or anything, but they just always pop up
Linda's
randomly.
coming. Linda's in here. Linda Robb with the coming in hot with the facts. She says it's not a holiday. We don't get
Right.
the day off work.
It's
It's
true.
just a day that predicts the length of winter.
That's right. So it's not, yeah, Linda's right. We're not, not technically a holiday. Although, was it Linda there that was saying, James, just have a look in the chat there. Growing up in Owen Sound, which is, of course, just around the corner from
No,
Wyerton.
that's Allison. Allison's
Allison.
in here from Facebook.
Allison. Awesome, Allison. So Allison knows. I have in-laws up near that area, Owen Sound, Wyerton area. And Wyerton
Right,
Willie is a
right.
big deal. I remember learning about
It is a
Wyerton
big
Willie in like
deal.
grade
It is a
3.
big deal. I just figured that a lot. Maybe the overseas folks, maybe not so much, but I just figured most people knew what it was. So your explanation might have been a little
Yeah, I
long-winded,
think
but you did good. You did good.
the UK folks, I don't know if
So
they
if
do
anybody was
Groundhog
wondering
Day.
why I was wearing these glasses, I have a predicament this week. I had maybe it was a couple weeks ago I got these.
The crows.
I
No?
went in. No, it has nothing to do with the crows. I went
Okay.
into the store, the sunglasses store, and because I buy really expensive sunglasses, and
Like you make a practice of it?
yeah, and I don't even wear most of them now. I typically get the cheapest sunglasses. I will either get them at Joe Fresh, which is not even a store really unto itself. It's in a grocery store.
Right. It's the Loblaws clothing
Or
deal.
I'll get them at Walmart. So neither of them are like a dedicated glasses store. But anyways, that's not really that interesting. But the thing that happened to me was, because of COVID, I don't want to be putting on all these different sunglasses and trying them. So I did my best to
That's smart.
look at the glasses. I'm like trying to decide. I'm looking between them, and I see this pair, and it looks like the ones that I have, but it's just kind of a little more like just a little. It has a little more fine edges and a little. I just thought it seemed to look a little more expensive than the $10 I
Ooh,
spent.
nice. Yeah.
Right. And so I get them, and I'm feeling pretty good. And I come home and I show them. I bring them to Kyla, right?
Right.
And
Who's a fashion expert. I mean, she's got her own fashion company,
yeah, and I
so
put
she
them
knows her
on.
things.
And there was no words. It just was immediate laughter.
What? Oh, that
And
that's rough.
and I was like, what? Wait, what? What? What's wrong with these? What's wrong with these? And so apparently, she believes that these are female. So
Oh,
so
no,
these are my Elton
no.
John glasses now, and
Let me
it's
see. Let me see. Let me see. Just look right at your camera, James. No, no, those could go either way for sure. And who cares now, right? Who cares? I mean, there's like,
now that I see it, especially in the camera, these are purple. It's got a purple hue
well,
to
I
it.
love purple's one of my favorite colors. I'd wear those, James.
Whatever.
I'd rock those.
So now
I don't
I
think it
might have
matters.
to go
I don't
back
think it
and get
matters.
another pair, but I'm not gonna be able to lose them. I know it. I know it. You know
So
how
is
you
that
lose
your
everything else?
problem? Do you lose sunglasses on the reg? Is that an
Yeah,
issue
well
for
that's
you?
why I get the cheap ones.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
anyways,
See, I had
let's hear
a
your thoughts in the chat if anybody cares.
yeah. Do you go cheap? So
do these
here's
look
the
female?
conundrum though. The conundrum with sunglasses though is you either go
By the way, this
cheap.
isn't an energy drink. For anybody, this looks exactly the same, but I'm serious with you. And if you don't
Right.
believe me, you can let me know in the chat. But this is actually a Coke Zero, has zero sugar,
Yeah.
not zero caffeine,
Yeah.
but it's not Coke Energy. Okay.
That's great. Okay, I think that's worth the $100 they're paying you, James. Good for you.
Also, I'm a man who's recently gotten into ice, and I really enjoy ice.
Like
I don't really have ice, and now it's like feels nice.
like frozen water.
Yeah, like ice cubes. Anyways,
Okay.
continue. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
There are many different meanings of the word ice, James. So I like Anyway, family friendly show. But anyway, what I was gonna say, what were we talking about? You got me off on there. Tangent. Oh yeah, the conundrum. The conundrum is you either buy cheap sunglasses, but then you kind of don't have the same level of maybe care over them and you're going through them all the time where you're losing them, or is the answer you get more expensive ones and you'll care for them more? Like, I've never been particularly successful with either myself. What's your strategy?
I get
Is
the
it to go
cheap
get
ones.
cheap
That's
ones?
what I just said. I get
You,
the cheap
okay,
ones.
gotcha. Okay,
You need it to
so you
explain anymore?
well, no, so you get the cheap ones and you care about them.
No, no, no. I get the cheap ones, and then if I lose them, I get another pair of cheap ones.
Mm. So how many pairs of sunglasses do you think you go through in a year?
I would say a couple. I don't think it's not an outrageous
It's not a
amount.
big deal.
No,
Yeah.
but
Well, that's good. Then you're probably doing well for,
uh,
you know,
when you're talking about Groundhog Day, that reminds me of the movie. That was one of my. You watched that one, right?
oh, love Groundhog Day.
Has
So
anybody
good.
watched that movie? Sorry, just
It's one of my
before we
favorites.
continue, Jim says, I'm in the UK. We basically use Groundhog Day to mean a day that feels like the day before, as per the Bill Murray movie. So he's exactly on the
That's
same
funny.
wavelength
So
as us.
and Jim, I think I just saw in the chat that Jim said he thought the day was made up for the movie. And so that I think that explains that Groundhog Day isn't necessarily a UK thing. So
I
no,
did.
I
Oh,
mean
he
it's
said I didn't realize it's widely acknowledged across North America. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like it's a day every year. I mean, nobody does anything about it, but it's always in the news, and it's just a thing to break up the winter. And the film is one of my all-time favorite films. James knows this about me, and I remember the first time I ever watched it. James and I actually the first time I watched it, I saw it, and then I finished, or I saw it right after I saw it again, the second time with James. James and I were driving to, well, we were being driven, I should say. We weren't watching a video while one of us was driving. Our dad was driving the SUV, and we had the DVDs in the back. And you and I were going to sing the anthem at. Speaking of anthems, that was brought up last week. We were going to sing the national anthem at a Wellington Dukes game in Wellington, Ontario. And you and I watched Groundhog Day the whole way there. And here's the weird thing about the first or second viewing of our, if you've ever watched Groundhog Day, if you watch it straight, this happened to me, because it's so repetitious. And the basic premise of the film, for anybody who hasn't seen the film, I don't want to just exclude anybody here, is that Bill Murray is a news anchor who is, pretty high on himself. He thinks, he's all that, and he's going to a small town. He's assigned with a small crew to go to a small town in Puxatawny and Pennsylvania, I believe, and he's got a report on the groundhog, and he thinks this is beneath him as basically a big deal anchor. And he goes and he wakes up the next morning, but it's the exact same day as the day he just did. And every single day he wakes up and lives the same day over and over again. And, he can't get out of this loop. And of course, he does all kinds of crazy things. Like he learns how to play the piano, and he learns everything about everybody else and all sorts of things. And then you realize that there's a love story there. And I won't give away too much, but this guy lives the same day. And of course, I often think about that in my head. If that happened to me, and I'm watching the movie, I'm thinking, oh, what would I do? What would I be able to know about somebody before they told it to me, and all the tricks and stuff. And I finished watching this movie. James and I went to go sing the anthem, and it felt like nothing that James and I did after watching it had any consequence. Because of course that's the movie. Like, of course, if he dies on one of the days, he wakes up the next morning in the same bed, same alarm clock, same deal, right? So it actually brainwashed me. It kind of like hypnotized me to believe that there was no consequences to any of my actions. And so that's not a good thing to feel or be in the zone of before you get on stage to perform, because of course on stage it's like everything really matters, right? So I don't know, did that happen to you, James? I feel like we talked about that after it happened.
Yeah. When we stepped out of the vehicle, I felt like, yeah, it just felt like things weren't real. And,
Yeah.
I think another movie that did that a little bit was that one with Jim Carrey, the one where he's in some sort of TV show or
Oh,
whatever.
the Truman Show.
Oh, that's a good
Very,
one.
yeah. The Truman
And
Show. That was a good one.
I watched, it was trending on Netflix this week, so I decided to boot this movie up was Serenity.
Oh, I don't think I've
And
seen
Matthew
Serenity.
McConaughey's in it, and you know how we are with Matthew. I'm a
Oh man, I'm
Matthew
a
fan.
huge fan. I'm a huge Matthew fan.
Yeah, but the problem is, I was like, there must be a reason why I haven't heard of this movie, and it starts good, but then there's like a twist to it that I just feel was just not. It wasn't necessary for
Oh, it's a
the.
2019. Oh, it just came out. That's why. Oh, I haven't seen it. It's
Yeah,
new. It's relatively
I
new.
don't think a lot of people have seen that yet, but if
Oh,
you watch it and you see the twist, I was sitting there and I was
not your
feeling
deal.
like, it just didn't sell me, it just didn't sell me. I didn't feel like, what the one thing it felt like to me was like that there, it was like they made it was like a mishmash of like different movie genres all put in together, and
Oh
it
yeah.
didn't feel clear as to what kind of movie it was.
I think
Anyways,
they
I
call
don't want
that.
to give
I
the
think the
twist.
critics call that uneven. It's an uneven film. Um,
Yes, yes.
you're
An
welcome. You're
uneven
welcome.
film.
I got the terms down. No, the other film that does the Groundhog Day thing, but in a sci-fi context, is Edge of Tomorrow,
True,
starring
true, true,
Tom
true, true,
Cruise.
true.
Love that movie too. So I don't know if it's the endless loop thing,
It does mess with your
but
head, and
it does. And actually,
it
this
was
is
weird singing after that for sure. Jim
we should
said,
play.
yeah, sorry,
We should always.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. What did Jim say?
Jim, what?
What?
Is it-
What was it?
Jim
Was it
said, I
Jim?
thought it was
Jim?
made up for the movie. So yes, you're
Right.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Linda thought that Kyla's reaction would be funny, and it was funny. I mean, it wasn't. There was zero words. It was just laughter.
Ryan wants us to come to. Oh, sweet. Matt Damon face off could be good Will Hunting. Ryan wants us to come to Australia. We'd love to tour in
Oh
Australia, Ryan.
yeah,
That would be awesome. That would be
absolutely,
awesome. I'd love
absolutely.
that. Um, you know what? Let's before I would like to play. Okay, there is a scene from Groundhog
Oh
Day.
yeah. Okay.
Phil is a god. Yeah. Okay. Check out this scene from the Groundhog Day. This is actually great because this, and just to set this up, right? He's finally sitting down to confront the other news team member. I think it's his producer, and she is like his love interest in the movie. And
Mhm.
he's sitting
I
down to
love Bill
explain.
Murray, by the way.
Isn't he the best? Like he's
There's
there.
a great YouTube video of him talking about how a painting saved his life once. You should check that out. It's really
Oh man,
cool. He was like really, he just mentally wasn't feeling well, and
yeah.
he just went walking and walking and walking. Just decided to go into a museum, and there was a certain painting, kind of a sunrise with, I think it was a woman in a field. I can't remember the name of the painting, but
Wow,
he literally saw that. He says to this day that painting literally changed. Like it was cool. It was neat how art
that's
can have that
amazing.
kind of, yeah.
You and I remember you and I we were touring and we were performing in Philadelphia one time, and you and I went to we went to the museum there. I think the Rodin
I'm
sculptures were
sorry?
either they were on display or there's a Rodin museum in Philly. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we went to go see Rodin sculptures, you and I, in Philadelphia. And there's something so important about going and taking a moment and viewing art and viewing sculpture. I find, and I for me it's really important. It kind of it's a calming thing, it's an introspective thing, it's a way to get off your phone, it's a way to think and to just appreciate things that really matter. And completely unrelated to that but related to Bill Murray, apparently Bill Murray has a phone number that he gives out to everybody. It's a 1-800 number that he makes public, and you can call him at any time. Like he he might not always pick up, but sometimes he does. It's a 1-800 number, goes to a cell phone,
That's
and he
insane.
has it and he picks up. He's like, "Hi, it's Bill Murray." Not even kidding.
Crazy.
So anyway, this scene's great because he's telling, this is his love interest. He's telling her, look, this has been happening to me. And he does it. Of course, he has to prove it to her by like predicting all the things that's happening around him. And I'm thinking this is exactly what I would do in the situation. But this gives you a
What
good
was
taste
that
of Groundhog
again?
Day. If you haven't seen it,
I'm
you
a
got to see this
god.
film.
You're God.
I'm a god. I'm not the god. I don't think.
Because you survived a car wreck?
You folks ready to order?
I didn't just survive a wreck. I wasn't just blown up yesterday. I have been stabbed, shot, poisoned, frozen, hung, electrocuted, and burned.
Oh, really?
And every morning I wake up without a scratch on me, not a dent in the fender. I am an immortal.
Special today is blueberry waffles.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I want you to believe in me.
You're not a god. You can take my word for it. This is 12 years of Catholic school talking.
I could come back if you're not ready.
How do you know I'm not a god?
Ha! Oh, please.
How do you know?
Because it's not possible.
Doris. This is Doris. Her brother-in-law Carl owns this diner. She's worked here since she was 17. More than anything else in her life, she wants to see Paris before she dies.
Oh, boy, would I.
What are you doing?
This is Debbie Kleiser and her fiancé Fred.
Do I know you?
They're supposed to be getting married this afternoon, but Debbie is having second thoughts.
What?
Lovely ring.
This is Bill. He's been a waiter for 3 years since he left Penn State and had to get work. He likes the town. He paints toy soldiers.
Okay, so it is Pennsylvania. Puxatawny's Pennsylvania.
This is Gus. He hates his life here. He wishes he stayed in the Navy.
Well, I could have retired on half pay after 20 years.
Excuse me. Is this some kind of trick?
Well, maybe the real God uses tricks. You know, maybe he's not omnipotent. He's just been around so long. He knows everything.
Oh, okay. Well, who's that?
This is Tom. He worked in the coal mine until they closed it down.
And her?
It's Alice. Came over here from Ireland when she was a baby. She lived in Erie most of her life.
He's right. And her?
Nancy. She works in the dress shop and makes noises like a chipmunk when she gets real excited.
Hey!
It's true.
How do you know these people?
I told you, I know everything. In about 5 seconds, a waiter's gonna drop a tray of dishes. 5, 4, 3,
nuts.
2, 1. Okay?
Okay, that's enough. What about me, Phil? Do you know me too?
I know all about you. You like producing, but you open for more than Channel 9 Pittsburgh.
Well, everyone knows that.
You like boats, but not the ocean. You go to a lake in the summer with your family up in the mountains. There's a long wooden dock and a boathouse with boards missing from the roof. And a place you used to crawl underneath to be alone. You're a sucker for French poetry and rhinestones. You're very generous. You're kind to strangers and children. And when you stand in the snow, you look like an angel.
How are you doing this?
I told you, I wake up every day right here, right in Punxsutawney, and it's always February 2nd. And there's nothing I can do about it. If you still can't believe me, listen. In 10 seconds, Larry is going to come through that door and take you away from me. But you can't let him.
good.
Larry.
Please believe me. You've got to believe me.
You guys ready? We better get going if we're gonna stay ahead of the weather. What's that?
Right, he can't get out of the town because of the storm or something too, right?
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
on.
so like and of course the great thing about the movie is he's got to learn the reason why he's stuck, right? And I won't give that away, but he's got to figure out what matters, and that kind of I don't know, that ties back to a little bit you and I when we're out on the road and we're touring, we're playing music together. For me, it's easy to kind of live your life in hyper routine. I know we've talked about this before, James, but you and I, sometimes it feels a little Groundhog Day, like when you're going town to town, setting up the same show, tearing down the same show, playing the same show over and over and over and over again. And, you're in a different city, but oftentimes you're staying at the same truck stop. It's the Flying J pretty much every time. There's so much repetition out there, even though we're in a different town every night. And for me, I find that I have to take a minute when we're out there, instead of just feeling like we've got to go through the motions, of taking it in and realizing, okay, what's really special about what we're doing specifically for the tour, but also what's really special about the town we're in, what's really special about the specific people we get to meet here. And those are the things that keep me going when we're out on the road, is getting to connect with the real people of that town and make it feel like it's less of the same thing and it's more of sort of a collection of different people and stories. And I know we've talked about that quite a bit with inspiration for our songwriting, but I don't know, that I thought was kind of relevant to our touring life as well.
Absolutely. Talking or speaking of things that we may or may not have discussed, Bart is here on Facebook. He says, just dropping in here. So I'm not sure what's been discussed. Wondering, have you ever had conversations around, wouldn't it be cool to do a collaboration with? So we haven't really chatted about that.
Yeah. What, a collaboration with
Yeah, I mean,
Bart or a collaboration with Bill Murray?
artistically, because he says was checking out YouTube the other day and
Oh, sweet.
checking out some of the wild and enthusiastic fusion that's going on in the world. I mean,
Ooh.
yeah, we've coming from sort of a traditional music background
Well, that's kind of what we do.
bluegrass and gospel, and bringing that into a modern context in whatever ways we can. Is definitely a huge fusion, and
Totally.
so. But in terms of collaboration, does that bring anything to your mind, John?
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Respond
we
to
certainly try, and we try. I
Bart,
think
sorry.
that's kind of the name of what we do. It's certainly a big thing in country music to collaborate. But I mean, if he's talking about collaborating, we are always up to hear anything from anybody. By the way, if anybody have songs and ideas
I think he's just
and
he's asking, like, you know, like we've had questions like that before about, like, hypothetically, who would you collaborate with if you
oh
could? It's
yeah,
like that's
yeah, who would you collaborate
or
if
is that,
we
am I
okay,
not interpreting the question
no,
correctly?
no, maybe you are. Um, uh, I
Obviously, if we were to write songs, I mean, or write a song with someone, I would probably say writing a song with Gordon Lightfoot would be insane.
oh my goodness, yeah,
And just for that experience
that'd be
alone,
like
and I don't
that's
even
like a
care.
dream you.
Obviously, something neat would come out of it from Gordon's end, but we'd probably hold him back. And even if it wasn't that
Yeah,
good,
probably.
having that experience would be pretty cool.
Absolutely. No, it would be really cool to sit down and have a jam with the guys in the Zach Brown band. I think that'd be a lot of fun. They seem like a good cohort of
Very
guys,
talented, yep.
and we've sort of been on the outskirts of sort of their camp of people, because we've written with a number of writers that have worked with
That's true.
them, and we've worked with some producers and engineers that have worked with them, and we hear all these great stories about them as a sort of as a team of people, and that would be a lot of fun, I think. But it's a good question, because that is
Amy
really what
says
country music is all about.
The Abrams feature featuring Beyonce.
Wow,
That's quite the
that
fusion. Talking about
that's
fusion,
like a dream that you wake up from, and for
you're
2 seconds it
confused.
feels real, and then for the rest of the day you go, that's not, yeah,
How did
no.
I even conceive of that?
Wow, how did
Although,
that even come into my head?
but
It'd be amazing. She's incredible, but
yeah.
yeah.
Bart said not me, artists in general.
We'd be
So
lucky
yeah,
to have a
hopefully,
Beyonce featuring the Abrams.
that's great. Thank you, Bart, for that question.
Really
We
good
really
question.
appreciate questions like that. Sorry, just
Love
circling
that.
back quickly. Kara says, "What about Bob? Hilarious Bill Murray movie for sure." Obviously, speaking
Yes.
of groundhogs, I believe it was a groundhog that was also in that golfing movie he was in, right?
Oh,
Speaking of,
yeah, Caddyshack.
oh, dude,
So good. That's actually,
Caddyshack.
I never drew that connection.
Yeah,
He deals with a groundhog. He's trying
it's
to
like the big
get the groundhog,
nemesis.
the nemesis groundhog, off the golf course. That's a classic too.
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield, so good.
Allison thinks the sunglasses look fine, so that's good. I've got Allison backing me up. She says sunglasses are hard to buy. That's true. You know, it's also hard to buy. I feel like pants. At least for men, you buy, you enjoy a pair of pants, then you buy a new pair of pants, and hopefully they
Mhm.
fit perfectly or they fit well. And once you switch to the new pair, it's like you can't put on the old pair again.
Your old pairs
It's done.
suck.
I mean, maybe there's other guys that don't exist like us, John, but I mean, it's like I really have a problem. I can cycle a couple now, but like throughout most of my life, it's hard to cycle through several pants.
Well, I
I
also
feel like they
find that
just
when
don't
you're in
feel
the
right.
dressing room and you do try on a new pair of fresh pants somewhere, and then that terrible feeling that you have to put on your old pants again with like all the stuff in your pockets, and it's just like, this is not
Well,
this,
you're the
yeah,
dude with the stuff in the pockets.
yeah, yeah, it's true.
It's a
No, your
disaster.
James, your wallet.
My wallet's a
Okay,
mess, but I don't have
okay,
just random things in
okay.
my
Pull,
pants.
pull out your wallet. Pull out your wallet. Have you got your wallet on you? Pull out your wallet. Show people how thick your wallet is. Put it up next to your face and show people. Okay, James. I'm really concerned about his back. If anybody's seen Seinfeld, I'm really concerned about James putting out his back with his wallet. Have you
Linda
got it?
says, I think combining with High Valley, both Canadian Brothers, Gospel Bluegrass Start. And you know what? That
Yes.
we agree, and we've played actually pretty recently with them. They
Yeah.
love those guys,
Good
and
guys. We've done some writing
written
together,
with
and
Brad.
yeah,
Brad particularly, he's
Brad's
a great.
fantastic.
He's right in the mix of things in Nashville, writing with all kinds of people and for
Yeah.
all kinds of people, and doing a great job at that.
Yeah, we
So
love playing with those
oh
guys.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's always a great
No,
time seeing
it's
them.
neat to connect with people that kind of come from similar backgrounds. Jim
Totally.
says totally agree. Probably about the pants. I think. Dwayne is like the
Jim's my
stream.
guy.
Thank you, Dwayne. Here's my wallet.
Okay. That's better than before. We'll put that up to your face. Okay. Just think about that, everybody, in relation to James's face, okay? And think he has to sit on that.
I think it's been worse.
Look at that.
Been worse.
It has been worse, but that's horrible. That's
Well,
horrible.
I
Do you
can tell
keep
you-
your old like
I'm
hotel
not going to give
keys
away
or something?
information here, but
Do you keep
I-
your old hotel keys? Do you have like a whole
I
bunch
could.
of
I could
gift
yeah.
cards to
What I do have, and
Cineplex?
this one, hopefully I can get it out maybe easily, but there's one here that's my favorite.
How does one have that many cards? Like, like you're a
Okay.
member of like 8 libraries? Like,
Oh well,
where?
see, I'm a man who stores look for, right? When I go to check out,
Right.
they say,
Oh.
oh, so are you a member of such and
Oh,
such?
yeah.
And you know, they get kickbacks or something. You think,
Right.
They get
You
something.
mean like
They
sign
sign
me up
people
for a
up?
credit card?
I can't say no. I just can't say no. It's a problem.
So
I
what,
can't
do you
find the
just sign
card, but
up
my
for-
favorite card is Flying J, and it literally says professional. Oh, here it is. I don't want to give away information. No, this is good. My rewards.
Yep. Well, I have that card
It's
too. but my
so
wallet
it's so
isn't that
Flying
crazy.
J dirty too. It just looks like it's covered in diesel.
Rugged. It's probably covered in diesel oil or diesel
It says
fuel.
professional driver. So if anybody was
Yep.
wondering, I am a professional driver. And
I have that card too.
that's
Yep.
pretty much it. I'm a professional at driving.
I think James just keeps every hotel key he's ever had and sticks it in his wallet just to, problem is now it's a leather wallet, right? So you can't take cards out because the leather has now stretched that large. And if you do take cards out, none of your other cards will stay in. Like it's the cards keeping the cards in, right? I mean, that's a problem.
Sorry, just
Did
reading
you
the
even
chat.
just
What's
hear
the
anything I
problem?
just said?
What's the problem?
Okay, so I just, and I'm sorry to repeat myself to the people out here because James wasn't listening, but the problem is you have a leather wallet, and because you stuffed so many cards in it, you've stretched the leather out, and now if you take cards out, you
Oh
can't
yeah, it's
because
wrinkly. It's
the
like
friction
a
of
wrinkly
the
wallet.
cards stuffed in keep the cards in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I think
mean,
another one of my
that's a
problems
problem.
is I sometimes I zone out when I listen in a while.
Every so
But
often.
I think it's
Do I just
no,
drone?
particularly on this show because I'm trying to like, there's so many things to take my attention. I'm just like
Right.
sometimes I'm like
And
a
I
one
don't, I'm
stream
just not
of,
engaging. I'm just
no,
not
you're
engaging
good.
enough.
You're good.
Nah.
I can neither confirm nor deny if that's
You
true.
okay, well, that's nice. That's
Amy,
the honest,
Amy
I guess.
says,
That's the politician.
James, I'm
answer.
surprised that I'm surprised he hasn't spent all that on V-Bucks. I guess my wallet's all in V-Bucks. That's in Fortnite. It's a video game.
Oh, okay. Didn't know
That would give me back problems. Ryan, I agree
it
with you.
must. I think
Yeah,
James,
well,
you must.
I can't have it in my back pocket. I have
No.
it in a jacket pocket, to be honest. For anybody
you don't
that's,
have it
that
in your
wants to
pants
pickpocket
pocket?
me. No, I don't.
No. See, that's my problem. Is I have
Linda
too
says,
much stuff in my pockets.
Linda says Brad just signed a writing contract with Warner's. He's been doing well. They've been with Warner for a while in the U.S.
Right. Maybe he's with Warner Chapel now and
Perhaps,
run the writing
perhaps
side.
he's been doing a weekly song performance of a song he wrote that another artist made big. I'm sure.
That's awesome.
Sure, that's
We got to check that out.
yeah, absolutely.
Brad
that
is a
sounds
great
sweet.
guy, and
Yeah,
they're
very good.
really good guys. And like you said, James, I think the nice thing about High Valley is that we all grew up. I remember playing with them like 10 years ago at Dauphin Country Fest when we were much younger. We all played on stage. It was the Sunday morning gospel hour, And so we all grew up singing gospel and bluegrass, and so we connected on that many years ago when we were still basically teenagers and sort of in early those guys were in their early 20s, over our shared roots. So it is always nice to find that amongst other. And speaking of collaboration, again, it's always nice to find that amongst other country music performers, because country music is so like hugely wide in a spectrum of influence, right? I mean, you have so many different kinds of versions of country music. So it's always nice to find people in that, sort of, fish in the lake, if you will, that have a similar background, and you can kind of collaborate on stuff that you share, and particularly the same musical influences growing up. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony says you must pull it behind in a wagon. The wallet. That's true.
Oh yeah,
that's true
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
James,
that seems like good strategy for you.
That would be good. Jody says, James, there's an app called Keyring. You can put all your rewards into it digitally. Yes, I need that.
Nice.
I need that. You know what? Actually, one of our best friends growing up told me about that probably about a year ago, and I haven't done that yet. So, Linda says, some of those reward cards you can put on your phone now. There, Linda's right on it with Jody.
Yeah, Apple Wallet. I've got some in there.
Yeah, and Amy says, John, how's the decorating going? Managed to get paint on the dogs yet?
Actually, I will say, on the decorating, great question.
Hold on. John, I didn't give you enough credit last time. When I had to go back and like make a thumbnail and stuff, I went through.
Right.
You were trying to talk about how you did. You put the sign on the wall behind you. You did the coal miners. Yeah, you did a nice job. You did.
Thank
a nice
you for
job.
that.
Okay.
Did you watch the video and feel guilt for not giving me?
I felt bad.
Credit?
I didn't really, acknowledge what you said.
Yeah, no, you probably should have. I mean, I really did put a lot of effort into it, and I didn't feel acknowledged. So it's really nice that you're doing that this week. And speaking of decor, great. This is like, okay, I am a big fan of oil paintings out there. Anybody? Okay, so my mother gave this to me for Christmas. This is a lovely oil painting that she found somewhere, probably in an antique store. It's of a lovely little cabin scene in the wilderness. Alex just picked up one for me today that I just got on Facebook Marketplace last night. It's one of a fox hunting scene. Now I don't have it somewhere, but it's a very English kind of deal. I have coasters. That's the closest I can show you. I've had these coasters since I was, a kid, and it looks kind of like that. So for anybody out there who wants to help me with decorating, if you have any oil paintings, I like to collect oil paintings. And if you have any that you're getting rid of, or you just don't have room for anymore, let us know. Send those in the chat, or reach out to us on Facebook or whatever. And obviously we'll sort of, curate as we go and work through what we got. But if you find any out there for reasonable money, like I don't have like a big old budget. I don't even have really a small budget. Like I'm just trying to kind of shoestring it here. But I'm sort of in the market for collecting oil paintings. So that's.
Or are you just looking for people to give you things? Like what are you talking about? Shoestring budget. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm looking for anybody out there who's got a oil paintings, oil paintings to unload. Maybe one man's trash is another man's treasure kind of deal. Or maybe you want to make $50 on them or something like that. You know what I mean? But I'm not in the market for buying thousands of dollars worth of oil paint. James? Have you ever looked up how much like old, few 100-year-old oil paintings cost?
No.
I'm not talking about Rembrandts here, but I'm just talking about ones from the Dutch era or something. Like it's like, 20,000, 25,000. Yeah.
Speaking of treasure,
anything near that.
Linda says, way to call him on it. Way to call him on it. Speaking of treasure, what a week it's been. The biggest story this week is the stock of GameStop and the treasure that has become, huh?
Treasure. Man, if I were Bill Murray and I could go back in time.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I were Bill Murray and I could go back in time, like a Groundhog Day, maybe it was like my Groundhog Day is like a month back. I would have bought GameStop stock because this is crazy. So for anybody who hasn't seen this in the news, there's a Reddit thread called Wall Street Bets, r/Wall Street Bets. And nice, James. Very, very good. Very good. I don't know how this connects, but I'm sure he's got a reason. So Reddit page
I
called.
don't need a reason, John. No, the reason is because I'm bullish, John. I'm rodeo bullish on.
Oh, you're bullish on game stocks. Got it. Okay,
Yep.
nice. I didn't put that together, but thanks for the explanation. Anyway, so Wall Street Bets is a Reddit thread, and I think the whole deal, from what I can tell, is that everybody on this thread was upset that there are a number of big hedge funds out there shorting. So the simplest terminology for that in stock language is betting against a stock or betting against a company. There was a number of hedge funds that were shorting GameStop, the company, more than what the stock was worth. I have to double check exactly that language because I'm a super novice when it comes to
What are you
stocks,
talking
and
about?
I'm self-admitted. So people were shorting GameStop as a company, right? And all the gamers out there, they were
Not
really
people.
upset
It
about
was
that.
hedge funds.
That's what I said.
Okay,
I
sorry.
said
I
hedge
thought you
funds.
said
Yeah.
people. Sorry.
No. Hedge funds are out there shorting GameStop, betting against GameStop as a company. And
You're doing good. Keep going.
Okay, thanks. When you chime in and listen, it is nice. So anyway, the the Reddit crew, they were all upset about this. So they said, okay, we're all going to buy GameStop stock now. And there's like how many people on this thread, James? Like millions of people on this thread. Like how many subscribers?
There's like 6 million or something.
So they get on there and it goes viral on Wall Street Bets and drive the stock price of GameStop's stock from, I think it was $13 a share or something, maybe lower. I think it might have been I think last year at this time it was about $2, $3 a share, and they've driven it up this week to $350 a share at one point, I think it was. So there has been an absolute frenzy, and it's just nuts. So anyway, that was my best attempt to explain it. James, you can fill the gaps.
I just say bye, bye, and life is good.
That's not stock advice. James is not qualified to give stock
I am
advice.
a financial advisor,
today.
and I say bye, bye.
Bye. Yeah.
Never
okay.
sell.
Well, nobody can sue us because
just kidding.
James doesn't actually know what he's talking about.
I'm just kidding.
It's very high now, so it's kind
But
of.
did you like that? I at least thought of. I thought of making this cowboy hat connect.
That was nice.
Okay.
Yeah, very nice. Bye, bye, bye. Also,
Oh, we got.
Bye,
yeah,
bye, bye
sorry,
was a
go ahead.
song by NSYNC, and on the same album was the song Space Cowboys. So, did you even hear that? I don't think so.
I need more random.
You didn't hear that, did you?
I need more random hats.
I said
and
Bye Bye
costumes.
Bye was an NSYNC song on the same album, no strings attached, as the song Space Cowboy. So there's another nexus for you, James.
What
and
is
your
Space
hat.
Cowboy?
It's a song on NSYNC's
Oh.
album, No Strings Attached, which I used to listen to quite a bit in high school. A lot. I put that on my headphones, and I liked Max Martin's production. That was why I liked it.
Amy says Red Dead vibes. That's right. My
Yep.
favorite video game.
Well, we always wore cowboy hats, James and I, when we were younger on stage. Though that was our honorary Calgarian hat, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Janice says nice hat, James. Appreciate that with some
we
laughing
became
emojis.
Honorary Calgarians a few years ago, and they gave us hats.
So that was a little bit. I just thought I'd put the hat on. That's okay.
That's cool.
Just for jokes here, guys.
That's nice. That's nice.
Didn't all have to laugh at once.
I'm sure they were just howling out there, James. It was just great comedy value.
Yeah, sort of circling back to some of the movie stuff that we were talking about earlier. Right. You know how much I love Kevin James.
You are a big Kevin James fan, yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on Kevin James?
Well, I mean, Kevin James definitely has his moments. I mean, it's a very physical humor. I like physical humor. I've got nothing against Kevin James.
What do you mean by physical?
Like falling and like slipping and
well, I might be able to change your mind.
Okay, well, no, I don't dislike Kevin James. what did I see him in recently? I really enjoyed. I think yeah. I mean, he's funny. Like he's got his moments.
So
But I know you're a
he's
big fan. Like you're a particularly big Kevin James
well,
fan.
I'll tell you, I legitimately like King of Queens. King of Queens.
Yeah, that's a fun show.
I think that's a great, as far as sitcoms go, that's a great one.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin James, man, listen, that
Right
guy
up there
knows.
with
He's a
the best of
diverse
them.
guy. Isn't he in some like movie where he's yeah, it's like he's diversifying now too as well. He's doing different like more dramatic roles. I saw.
So, anyways, I'm bringing him up because he started a YouTube channel, and he's probably
Awesome.
one of the only um, big movie actors that I can think of that kind of semi-consistently post like original content just to YouTube. Like, I think he makes it himself. He like probably produces or directs it. And I don't know if have you seen his YouTube?
No.
Oh, it's funny. He's got a bunch of different style. He's got some Anderson that says Mall Cop classic. Yeah, I love Mall Cop.
Paul Blart. Yeah.
Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just
You're
straight
rocking
up,
that
straight
segue.
ahead. But he has a bunch of different style of videos. He has some that is kind of like just straight up dramatic shorts.
Yeah.
But one of the funniest types of videos that he has is he has a sound guy video kind of segment thing that he does.
Right. Alex
here
told
and
me about
there.
this. I gotta
really?
watch this. I haven't seen it yet. She told me about
It's
it.
good.
She told me to go see it.
I've watched every single one, and I pulled out some of the like two of what I kind of laughed at more. But
This
we should
is
pull these
awesome.
ones
We've
up.
got to see this. I just saw
Um,
him in Hitch too. Hitch was a good movie with Will Smith.
Yeah. So
That was what it
I
was,
just gotta pull up the
Okay,
Google
pull it
Doc
up
here.
or what? Yeah, this sound.
Do you have any
guy
other
thing.
thoughts on? So you've already heard about this.
No, well, no, I haven't seen it though. This is great. You're gonna get my
Okay, well,
my
one of our
in-person
favorite
reaction.
movies. Here's the first one here is of
Right.
not one of our favorite movies, but it is one that we
Well, it's high
enjoy
on
quite
the
a bit.
list. I mean, it's high on the list.
You don't even know what movie I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Google Doc, man. I know exactly what you're pulling up.
Okay. Well, which one? Which one?
Did you want me to? Did you
No,
want me
no, it's
to
okay.
say?
So
Okay.
we enjoy the movie. We've always enjoyed the movie, The Notebook.
Yeah, who doesn't like The Notebook?
And,
I don't know a living soul that doesn't like The Notebook. I mean, maybe there's folks out there. I feel for your heart.
So this is good. So he's basically they superimposed him into the shot
This is
as the
awesome.
sound guy, and so we'll watch this one. I got another one teed up here too. It's not that
Okay,
long.
play.
Just want to sound check, Mr. Gosling.
So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard.
It can be very easy.
And we're going to have to work at this every day, but I want to do that because I want you.
I want you.
I want all of you forever. You and me.
I'm just trying to get a
Will you
sound
do
check,
something
Mr.
for me?
Gosling. Yep.
Please?
Yes.
You just picture your life for me.
Okay.
30 years from now, 40 years from
I
now.
don't think I'll be here.
What's
I
it
don't know
look
if I'll
like?
be here.
Go!
I'm just asking for a
Would
sound
you
check.
stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
I just need a sound check. Just
What do you want?
For anybody who hasn't seen this movie, this is
I
like
had to mute my mic. This is
like
hilarious.
the most important scene in this movie too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's like
It's
the
pivotal.
crescendo of the whole. So to have
What do you want? Such
Yeah.
a big scene.
continue.
Just a sound check would be great. Just a level on you. One.
What do you want?
Just a sound check, Mr. Gosling. That's all. Just check 1, 2, 3, 4. That's...
So good. And then I got-
Okay.
oh, no, that's
That
not what I
is
wanted.
awesome. That is awesome.
So good.
I might be a particularly big Kevin James convert right now. Play. Can you play me another one?
Yeah, I got one more, and this
Okay,
movie is one I haven't seen in a really long time, and I can't believe it came out so long ago. So people might not know this one, but it's No Country for Old Men.
Coen Brothers.
Oh, dude, it makes me
Won
want to
Best
go back
Pic-
and
it won
watch
Best
this
Picture
movie.
that year, and it's chilling. Like Anton Chigurh, played by Javier Bardem.
That's what I'm
is
saying.
Like,
so here
he's
we
like
got.
really scary.
It's basically
like,
it's
serial
him
killer.
in this scene with this of that guy. I'm not gonna try to say his name, But he is so oh my goodness, he's
he's so
so
eerie.
terrifying, man.
So good.
So we'll
Oh.
just pull this
And
up here.
the book was awesome. For anybody who needs to read it, Cormac McCarthy, amazing book. I
Kara
read
says,
it.
"Love the Notebook." Absolutely. The
Okay,
best.
we got to see Kevin James in No Country for Old Men. This is great.
That's so good.
I'm gonna mute my mic because my laughing is
Okay.
way too hard. for
Yeah,
the
yeah. It's hard for me. I
video.
can't distinguish the desktop audio from you. So yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jay.
All right.
Oh, hey, Mr. Javier. The actor, Gene, who was playing the cashier, he had to run to the bathroom for a second. But if you needed someone to run lines, I could stand in here with you if you want. I'd be more than happy to do that. You know, I studied the script last night. So either way, if it helps you out, you know.
What way would that be?
Either we can do it or we don't have to do it.
What business is it of yours?
You're totally right, sir. I mean, it's none of my business. I'm just I'm a sound guy, you know. It was just I meant to help you out. You know, I didn't mean nothing by it.
Didn't mean nothing.
Yeah, I mean, just asking you if you wanted to run lines. That's all. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Here we go. Well, I need to see you about closing then.
See about closing.
Yes, sir.
What time do you close?
Now we're closed now.
Now is not the time. What time do you close?
Generally around dark. At dark.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Oh, me or the character? Okay, yeah. Sir.
I said, you don't know what you're talking about. What time do you go to bed?
Sir.
You're a bit deaf, aren't you? I said, what time do you go to bed?
Somewhere around 9:30. I'd say around 9:30.
I could come back then.
Why would you be coming back? We'd be closed.
Yeah, you said that.
Well, I gotta close up now.
You live in that house out back.
Yes, I do.
You lived here all your life?
This is my wife's father's place originally.
You married into it?
We lived in Temple, Texas for many years. Raised a family there in Temple. We come out here about 4 years ago.
You married into it?
That's the way you want to put it.
I don't have some way to put it. That's the way it is. What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir.
The most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it?
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
Well, I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it. You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything. Call it.
All right. Heads then.
Well done.
Oof. Wow. I got lost in the character. That you really think I did all right? Whoa. Oh. Yeah. All right. Let's make it happen.
This is amazing.
Yeah, that was
This
that was
and
one of
it
my
actually
favorites.
looks really good. Like
Dude,
they,
I
re-
can't
like they,
believe how incredible that actor, dude. So he's
Oh,
so terrifying. I mean, also it has to do with his accent and how low his voice is and stuff.
yeah. Well, and the
But just
character Anton Chigurh is
ooh,
just absolutely. It's what like he's terrifying. I mean, like before this scene, the reason it's so scary, and actually Kevin James was playing the part of the desk clerk or the store clerk
yeah,
quite well actually there for a while.
yeah.
But I mean, Anton Chigurh has just killed a state trooper with a cattle with like a cattle prodder out there, and then pulls into this gas station. So you know this Anton Chigurh character is a really dangerous guy,
Yeah.
and he bets people's lives on a coin toss. So it's kind of like you're gonna live
Oh,
or you're gonna die based on him flipping the coin.
crazy.
So like that scene is super suspenseful in the real movie if you go and watch it, and to see Kevin James in there, it just completely throws you way off. It's the best. Man, I am a convert. Big convert. I
Well,
am a
I just
huge
thought I'd
believer
at
now.
least give a little. I have to give him credit. Getting on YouTube, making original content. I'm sure. I mean, maybe he has a deal with YouTube, but he could be just doing it just to you know be able to produce some stuff and whatever. I mean, I got to look into that, but I think it's pretty cool that he's doing that. I see Jack Black does that a lot too. He's got a
Yeah.
YouTube channel, I believe, with
Right.
one of his sons, and he does some. He
Who's an
pretends that
incredible
it's
singer,
he
by the way.
pretends it's a
Jack
gaming.
Black's amazing.
Yeah, it's like to just put that out there and to they clearly have to go through a lot of effort to make content
yeah.
like that, and unless he has a deal with YouTube, he's kind of just doing it for free, right? So
Well, they get the lighting right in that scene. Like he
Yeah.
looks like he's actually in
Yeah.
that scene.
No,
It's
I know.
amazing. And like
No.
he doesn't look like he's superimposed. But no, you know what? I always thought Kevin James was funny. That just took it to a whole other level for me. I big believer. That was awesome.
Well, there
That
you
was
go.
awesome.
What
Yeah,
what
thank
a
you for that.
what a great thing to do, John. Just bringing fans to Kevin James.
Bring
That's what
in
I
fans.
do
You
on a
should,
daily basis.
You're his guy. You should be his guy. I do before we go. I do want to mention our mom. She is usually in the chat on last week she got kicked off the chat for some reason. I think it's because she tried to cut and paste a definition from Wikipedia.
I
in
thought it
there,
was
and
spam. Not me.
the AI. No, the AI kicked her off because she was like putting 300 words into the same text. But anyway, mom, a couple days ago, she was out skating, slipped on the ice, and she fell and broke her wrist. And yesterday it was.
Yesterday.
So usually she's really active on here. They're still trying to figure out to find out what needs to happen. She probably will need surgery, something to that effect. Hope it's okay that we mentioned this, Mom, but just please keep her in your thoughts and your prayers. Truly, I know it's a phrase that's used a lot, but for anybody out there, please think about Mom and pray for Mom. She's in a lot of pain, and this was a really sudden thing to have happen to her. So, but listen, you know what? I talked to her today, James. I'm not sure if you got a chance to today, but she is in really good spirits. She's laughing. She's making jokes about it. It's Mom, right? Like she's super positive.
Well, that's
and
the thing
super
is, in
optimistic.
the moment, I mean, part of it must be, obviously
You were
shocked to some degree, but she,
you were there, right? You
immediately,
were out skating.
yeah, and she immediately, all she could think about is that how she ruined the skating day. Like that's what she cared about, and it was like, she was telling us to stay and have a nice
Heart of
time.
gold.
Like it was just, obviously part of it was shock and the pain eventually, came on, but it was.
And I see
it was just
Pam
kind of
Bidnost on there.
surreal how she was saying, yeah.
I see Pam Bidnost
Yeah.
in the chat. Thank you so much, Pam. That's so lovely to see you, and thank you for sending.
Thank you, Tony.
sending wishes,
Thank you.
and same to Tony. Yeah.
Thank you, Kara.
So that's a
And
tough one
Amy.
this week because Mom is always active in the chat. It's actually kind of like a bit of a running joke that we've got our mom on the show, and she is a big part of it. But truly, this was tough news to get yesterday, and we hope the best for her to be on the
and we
mend.
had a couple skating days this weekend. We were skating 2 days of the weekend, and we've been skating. Actually, we've been skating, off and on here a lot during quarantine because it's one of the only things you can do. And
exercise.
Mom's
it's
been
good to be
bombing
outside.
around. She's been doing great, and it just happened to catch a crack in the ice because it's just so cold. It's so cold that the ice starts to form cracks sometimes. I guess
Pressure
is how it
cracks,
was
right.
explained to me. So,
But she said to me on the phone today, she said, John, I was just skating and I felt like a speed skater out there. I felt like I was just gliding along and I was doing so well. And she said she was in the middle thinking, man, I'm just so great at this. Just the classic hubris, and then just went right into a crack. So if anybody is out skating, please be, I know,
Yeah, be careful.
you know,
It's very
please
cold
be
here right now.
extra
so-
careful. Yeah, be extra careful because you know what? If it's not your wrist, it could be your leg when you're out there. So please keep mom in your prayers, and we'll keep you updated on how she's doing. All right.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you, and we really thanks again for spending some time with us and making our week a little brighter. We hope that you guys have a wonderful week this upcoming week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. We will talk about that next week because I will be watching. Will you be watching, Zen?
Same. Absolutely.
Super Bowl week.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Take care and stay safe. Bye.